What's up YouTube? I'm Reese Witherspoon. I'm Cold Spaghetti, and today I have a quick video that includes some weapon updates as well as some edits to my last guide. If you haven't watched my full twinking guide from last week, you can find it here. I'd recommend watching that first if you are here to learn the basics of making a level 11 Fury Warrior twink, or if you feel you're lacking context for today's video. Now that we are entering week 2 of the Turbulent Timeways event, the dungeon pool has changed. This means that old weapons that I recommended are no longer available. Thankfully, this week of the event has a clear winner for the highest top-end damage. The Overseer's final word comes from the first boss in the Grimrail Depot. While this is technically the best option this week, you should understand that any of the two-handed weapons from this week's dungeon pool are still decent options. Every other piece of gear from the last video still stands as the best option for your warrior twink. Now, I'd like to take a minute to bring to light some accidental misinformation from my last video, as well as some helpful corrections or opinions that were brought to my attention over the last few days via my comment section. The first and biggest one in my opinion was brought to my attention by a user named WolfShanes5980. He explained that the bug we were experiencing in Necrotic Wake, where gear was dropping for the wrong level, was due to skipping the introduction to the Shadowlands campaign. In his comment, he explains a clever workaround using Shadowlands engineering, which I will put on screen now. Personally, after finding this out, if I were to make another twink, I would simply complete the Maw intro the way the Blizz gods intended. I don't really mind this intro, and it takes less than an hour in case you've never done it before. In another comment, Wolf also talks about gems. He gives a very detailed explanation as to why most twinks use multiple stat gems to reach haste cap instead of using pure strength gems like I did. I took this information right to the auction house. I bought new gems and I hit the target dummies for nearly 20 minutes. While I did notice a difference in the feel of the character and rotation a little bit, I'd say the overall differences in DPS were extremely underwhelming. I'm not saying his info was bad, but the price difference between pure strength gems and multiple stat gems is not subtle at all. I like twinking, but I also enjoy balling on a budget. Thank you WolfShanes for all the information. You truly are the GOAT, and clearly a more hardcore twink than I am. Maybe we can duel one day and see if that extra gold is worth it. The other notable comment came from a user named Scrappy3504. Scrappy explains the futility of using Slam at all in your rotation, even for single target, replacing it instead with Whirlwind. He says this is due to getting more lifestealing procs and relying on that as a main source of damage while Bloodthirst is on cooldown. I again tested this and found it to be true only when doing a versatility heavy build that makes your lifestealing procs hit much harder. Once again, my build is much simpler and our main focus is getting as much strength as possible. Therefore, Slam is still the clear winner for DPS output in single target fights for filler. Thank you Scrappy for your feedback, and perhaps we can experiment more with the verse build at a later date. To close out this video, I'd like to thank each and every one of you who liked and commented such kind words on my last video. This was my first YouTube guide ever, and I am genuinely over the moon that it was so well received. I will continue to release new updates to my guide as the weeks continue in the Turbulent Timeways event. Much love, everyone. And hey, little side note, did you hear that World of Warcraft's Battle Royale Plunderstorm is back? I'll be playing it every night on stream at twitch.tv/cold_spaghetti. And I might even put out a guide for that if you guys want. Thanks again, guys, and I'll see you next week.